Welcome. Learn about Macys, the department store chain. Macys is an American department store chain founded in 1858 by Roland Hussey Macy. It became a division of the Cincinnati-based Federated Department Stores in 1994, through which it is affiliated with the Bloomingdale's department store chain. The holding company was renamed Macys, Inc. in 2007. As of 2015, Macys was the largest U.S. department store company by retail sales. As of February 2019, there were 584 full-line stores with the Macys nameplate in operation throughout the United States, Puerto Rico, and Guam. Its flagship store is located at Herald Square in the Manhattan borough of New York City. The company had 130,000 employees and earned annual revenue of $24.8 billion as of 2017. Macys has conducted the annual Macys Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City since 1924 and has sponsored the city's annual 4th of July fireworks display since 1976. Macys Herald Square is one of the largest department stores in the world. The flagship store covers almost an entire New York City block, features about 1.1 million square feet of retail space, includes additional space for offices and storage, and serves as the endpoint for the Thanksgiving Day Parade. The value of Herald Square has been estimated at around $3 billion. Early history. 1800s Roland Hussey Macy opened 4 retail dry goods stores between 1843 and 1855. One of them was the original Macys store in downtown Haverhill, Massachusetts. It opened in 1851 to serve the mill industry employees of the area. They all failed, but he learned from his mistakes. Macy moved to New York City in 1858 to establish a new store named R.H. Macy & Co. on 6th Avenue, between 13th and 14th Streets. The location was far north of where other dry goods stores were at the time. 1102. On the company's first day of business on October 28, 1858, sales totaled $11.08, equal to $347.23 in 2020. From the beginning, the Macys logo included a star, which comes from a tattoo that Macy got as a teenager when he worked on a Nantucket whaling ship, the Emily Morgan. As the business grew, Macys expanded into neighboring buildings, opening more and more departments. The store used publicity devices such as a store Santa Claus, themed exhibits, and illuminated window displays to draw in customers, giving rise to the notion of window shopping. 945-6. It also offered a money-back guarantee, although it accepted only cash into the 1950. The store also produced its in-house made-to-measure clothing for both men and women, assembled in an on-site factory. 1102. In 1875, Macy took on 2 partners, Robert M. Valentine, a nephew, and Abel T. LaForge of Wisconsin, who was the husband of a cousin. Macy died in 1877 from inflammatory kidney disease. LaForge died the following year, and Valentine died in 1879. Ownership of the company remained in the Macy family until 1895, when the Strauss brothers acquired the company. Isidore Strauss and his brother Nathan Strauss had previously held a license to sell china and other goods in the Macys store. 1900s. Construction of Macys Herald Square. In 1902, the flagship store moved uptown to Herald Square at 34th Street and Broadway, so far north of the other main dry goods emporia that it had to offer a steam wagonette to transport customers from 14th Street to 34th Street. Although the Herald Square store initially consisted of just one building, it expanded through new construction, eventually occupying almost the entire block, bounded by 7th Avenue on the west. Broadway on the east, 34th Street on the south, and 35th Street on the north, with the exception of a small pre-existing building on the corner of 35th Street and 7th Avenue and another on the corner of 34th Street and Broadway. This latter five-story building was purchased by Robert H. Smith in 1900 for $375,000 with the idea of getting in the way of Macy's becoming the largest store in the world. It is largely supposed that Smith, who was a neighbor of the Macy's store on 14th Street, was acting on behalf of Siegel Cooper, which had built what they thought was the world's largest store on 6th Avenue in 1896. Macy's ignored the tactic and simply built around the building, which now carries Macy's shopping bag sign by lease arrangement. In 1912, Isidore Straus died in the sinking of the Titanic at the age of 67 with his wife, Ida. The original Broadway store was designed by architects de Lemos and Cordes, was built in 1901-02 by the Fuller Company and has a Palladian facade, but has been updated in many details. There were further additions to the west in 1924 and 1928, and the 7th Avenue building in 1931, all designed by architect Robert D. Cohn. The newer buildings were increasingly Art Deco in style. In 2012, Macy's began the first full renovation of the iconic Herald Square flagship store at a reported cost of $400 million. Studio V Architecture, a New York-based firm, was the overall master plan architect of the project. Studio V's design raised controversy over the nature of contemporary design and authentic restoration. The building was added to the National Register of Historic Places as a National Historic Landmark in 1978. National expansion. In the 1960s, Macy's built a store on Queens Boulevard in Elmhurst, in the New York City borough of Queens. This resulted in a round department store on 90% of the lot, with a small privately owned house on the corner, which was a Queens resident who refused to sell her land to Macy's despite the company's offer of $200,000. Mary Sendek, who was the owner of the small house, was the only resident who refused the company's offer and lived in her home on Queens Boulevard until her death. Macy's no longer fully occupies this building, which now contains the Queens Place Mall. Instead, it moved its full outlet to the nearby Queens Center. More distant acquisitions included LaSalle and Koch, Davis and Paxson Stokes, L. Damberger & Co., O'Connor Moffett and Company, and John Taylor Dry Goods Co. O'Connor Moffett was renamed Macy's San Francisco in 1947, later becoming Macy's California, and John Taylor was renamed Macy's Missouri Kansas in 1949. Stores in Toledo retained the LaSalle's name until 1981, joining the Missouri Kansas stores to become Macy's Midwest. The Toledo stores were sold to Elder Bierman in 1986. Macy's New York began opening stores outside of its historic New York City Long Island trade area in 1983 with a location at Aventura Mall in Aventura, Florida, followed by several locations in Plantation, Florida, Houston, New Orleans, and Dallas. Davison's in Atlanta was renamed Macy's Atlanta in early 1985 with the consolidation of an early incarnation of Macy's Midwest. But late in 1985, Macy's sold the former Midwest locations. Damberger's, which had aggressively expanded throughout New Jersey, into the greater Philadelphia metropolitan area in the 1960s and 1970s, as well as into Nanuet, New York, and into the Baltimore metropolitan area in the early 1980s, was renamed Macy's New Jersey in 1986. Current operations under Macy's, Inc. 2007-2014. Macy's significantly increased its use of television advertising and product placement in 2006 and 2007, using branding spots that featured the new Macy's Star logo. Macy's television commercials are produced primarily by New York Production Services, a New York-based commercial and independent film production company. During 2 episodes of the popular ABC television series Desperate Housewives, a Macy's location in the fictional city of Fairview was featured. Rare instances of product placement, promoting a department store chain in a scripted series. Nearly 2 years prior to the first episode, one of the first national commercials for Macy's had aired during Desperate Housewives. Shortly after the conversions of Riches, Lazarus, Goldsmiths, the Bon Marché and Burdines. On February 27, 2007, Federated Department Stores announced plans to change its corporate name to Macy's Group, Inc. By March 28, the company further announced plans to convert its stock ticker symbol from FD to M, and revised its name change to Macy's, Inc. The change in corporate names was approved by shareholders on May 18, 2007, and took effect on June 1, 2007. The company continues to operate stores under the Macy's and Bloomingdale's nameplates. In March 2009, Macy's opened a one-level, 120,000 square foot concept store in Gilbert, Arizona, a Phoenix suburb, that was designed to better fit open-air lifestyle malls. Additional stores with the new format have opened in Fairview, Texas, Lee's Summit, Missouri, and Nampa, Idaho. The stores are designed to be compact and meet current demands for more convenient shopping, similar to Kohl's and newer JCPenney stores. Lifestyle stores feature Starbucks coffee cafes with wireless web and fitting rooms designed to feel like lounges with sofas and plasma TVs. Ceilings in the center areas are higher to be reminiscent of older department stores. The format was the culmination of 18 months of to create stores for the My Macy's initiative that allows stores to be merchandised differently in markets across the country to meet local demands. On October 28, 2014, Macy's, Inc. announced an extension of the lease operation agreement with Altair Group LLC that would bring the first Macy's store overseas to Abu Dhabi, anchoring a new mall with its corporate sister Bloomingdale's, which will open its second overseas store. Both are slated to open in 2018. Macy's was the 15th largest retailer in the United States for 2014 by revenue. 2015 present. In January 2015, it was announced that Macy's would close 14 stores nationwide and shift 830 workers from Macy's and Bloomingdale's stores. Unrelated to the store closings, on July 13, 2015, Macy's announced it had sold the former flagship store of Kaufmann's in downtown Pittsburgh for redevelopment, closing the location after 128 years. In May 2015, Macy's joined the new American Express-backed Plenty Rewards card, which it shares with AT&T Mobility, Direct Energy, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, ExxonMobil, Hulu, Nationwide Insurance, and Rite Aid. On September 9, 2015, Macy's announced it would close 35 to 40 underperforming stores by early 2016. The retailer's struggles continued into the holiday season in 2015. The company announced that it experienced same-store sales declines of 5.2% in November and December 2015, typically busy months. In January 2016, Macy's announced that it will lay off up to 4,800 employees. The company said that these closings would experience cost savings of $400 million. As of January 2016, Macy's had 770 stores in total. On August 11, 2016, Macy's announced that it would close 100 stores in early 2017, expecting to save $550 million a year and cut more than 10,000 jobs. Macy's claimed it would instead invest $250 million in digital business and growth strategies for the remaining stores. By January 2018, Macy's had revealed the locations of 81 of the 100 store closures. In September 2016, Macy's announced that it would be opening an Apple store in its flagship location, making it the first department store to host an Apple store. The announcement came after 6 straight quarters of sales drops and significant store closings. In early January 2017, the value of Macy's shares fell 14%, its biggest drop in 7 months. In February 2017, the Hudson's Bay Company made an overture to Macy's for a potential takeover of the struggling department store. Macy's acquired Experiential Concept Story in May 2018 and made a minority investment in B8ta, a retail-as-a-service concept. In June 2018. By November 2019, Macy's Inc. was operating 871 stores, including Macy's, Backstage, Bloomingdale's, Bloomingdale's Outlets, and Bluemercury. 636 of the 871 stores were Macy's, including 579 that are full-line and 57 that are home, furniture, clearance, and specialty stores. There are also 7 standalone Macy's Backstage locations. In November 2018, Macy's announced they would be testing smaller neighborhood stores to save costs and promote innovation within the customer experience realm. As of 2018, Macy's ranked 120 on the Fortune 500 list of the largest United States corporations by revenue. Gannett has also launched an overhaul of Macy's stores, called the Growth 150 Strategic Plan. In the second quarter of 2019, Macy's shares fell more than 13%. On August 14, shares hit $15.82, which was their lowest since February 2010. After conducting 2 years of Macy's announced in 2019 that it intended to ban the sale of fur products at its stores by the end of the 2020 fiscal year. The news follows the state of California's ban on the manufacturing and sale of such items. On January 8, 2020, Macy's announced that it would close 29 underperforming stores. In late January 2020, Macy's began hiring for an upscale apothecary-based concept store that would focus on beauty and wellness products. That also featured a cafe and restaurant in the wealthy city of South Lake, Texas. On February 4, 2020, Macy's announced it planned to close a total of 125 stores over the next 3 years, including the stores announced earlier in January. These stores have an annual sale around $1.4 billion in exchange of $23.2 billion and $23.9 billion profit by refocusing and becoming leaner, nimbler, and more profitable store chain. Macy's will continue to close stores and cut staff through 2022. Also announced was the opening of 4 to 5 Market by Macy's stores, small format locations around 15,000 square feet, and 7 freestanding Macy's Backstage locations by the end of 2020. Macy's announced in March 2020 that it would temporarily close all locations including Bloomingdale's through March 31 to help contain the spread of COVID-19. Learn about Macy's, the department store chain. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye.